A tram passing over construction of the Piccadilly line in London, 1903. On the set of film Alexander Nevsky. The actors of the extras read the newspaper Pravda, 1938. Sergei Mikhailovich Eisenstein, 1920. Soviet film director, screenwriter, film editor and film theorist. He was a pioneer in the theory and practice of montage. In its 2012 decennial poll, the magazine Sight and Sound named his Battleship Potemkin the 11th greatest film of all time. SS Bachimo frozen in pack ice. The 1322-ton cargo steamer was abandoned in 1931 near the north coast of Alaska and would become a ghost ship that was sighted and even boarded multiple times in the following decades. Jewish female resistance fighter, Faye Lazebnik, front right, with fellow resistance fighters of the Molotova Brigade, Poland, 1942. Landing of British dirigible R-34 at Mineola, Long Island, New York, July 6, 1919. It was the first aircraft to make an east-to-west transatlantic flight. In 1976, 7 armed men failed to assassinate Bob Marley at his home, with some believing it was the work of the CIA. Ahmed Abdullah Abdirmain, the first president of the Comoros, Paris, France, 1974. Pakistan's first Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan sits next to the coffin in the funeral procession of the country's founder Muhammad Ali Jinnah, September 12, 1948. Halloween costumes from the 1920s. U.S. military search team uncovers an Iraqi MiG-25R Foxbat-B buried beneath the sands at Al-Taqadum airfield west of Baghdad, July 6, 2003. King Bhumibol Adulyadej Rama IX of Thailand, at his daughter's birthday party, Bangkok, 1960. Sailors marching in a Liberty Loan parade on Canal Street, New Orleans, 1917. Soldiers in gas masks advance on World War I bonus march demonstrators in Washington, D.C., July 1932. Royal Navy sailors and their girlfriends in the fountains in Trafalgar Square on VE Day, May 8, 1945. Infantryman and tanker of the Romanian army aim PSL sniper rifles in Bucharest, during the Romanian Revolution of December 1989, against the communist dictator Nicolae Ceausescu. Aboard USS Nicholas, a survivor of USS Helena which was torpedoed and sunk by the Japanese during the Battle of Kula Gulf, is given first aid after being temporarily blinded by oil while swimming, July 6, 1943. White Bull was the nephew of Sitting Bull. He participated in the Battle of the Little Bighorn on June 25, 1876 and boasted of killing Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer at the infamous battle. The Capuchin Catacombs of Palermo, 1895. Originally the catacombs were intended only for the dead friars. However, in the following centuries it became a status symbol to be entombed into the Capuchin catacombs. Sikh militant leader after Singh Brahma, the left one in the bottom row, with fellow militants, circa 1988. A man stands on an overpass and watches the Yugoslavian People's Army tanks as they retreat from the Slovenian-Croatian border. A brief armed conflict followed the Slovenia's declaration of independence from Yugoslavia. It lasted from June 27, 1991 until July 7, 1991. Study of effect of twin-jet exhausts inclined toward the ground at the Lewis Flight Propulsion Laboratory of the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, now known as John Glenn Research Center at Lewis Field, Cleveland, Ohio, July 7, 1944. The launch of NASA Mars exploration rover, Opportunity, aboard a Delta II rocket at Cape Canaveral, Florida, July 7, 2003. Farmer pounding rice with large pestle and mortar, Japan, around 1890. American mail carrier and amateur horticulturist Rudolf Gustav Haas and his wife Elizabeth, in front of their new variety avocado tree. All Haas avocado trees are descendants of this tree. That is almost 80% of avocados from the USA. 1935. The tenera tree was a solitary acacia that was once considered the most isolated tree on Earth. Sahara Desert in northeast Niger. Photo from 1961, because 12 years later tree was knocked down by a reportedly drunk truck driver. The model of the Plan Voisin for displayed at the pavilion of the Esprit Nouveau. Plan Voisin was a planned redevelopment of Paris designed by French-Swiss architect Le Corbusier in 1925. The MV Struma, pictured floating in the Istanbul harbor, was sunk on February 24, 1942, while adrift in the Black Sea by a Soviet sub. Nearly 800 people died, including 781 Jewish refugees. Only one person survived, February 1942. Frida Kahlo and Leon Trotsky, people say they had an affair, 1937. Two Wehrmacht soldiers sitting together, laughing. Date unknown, World War II. Sikh militant Sukhdev Singh Sukha, right, and Harjinder Singh Jinda, left, two of the most known Sikh militants, circa 1990. In 1906, Madison Grant, socialite, eugenicist, amateur anthropologist, and head of the New York Zoological Society, had Congolese pygmy Oda Benga put on display at the Bronx Zoo in New York City alongside apes and other animals. P-51B of the 355 Fighter Group, 8 Air Force, somewhere over England, 1944. Fireworks celebrate the new millennium over the Millennium Dome in London, January 1, 2000. The unit chaplain of the Kagnu Battalion, an elite Ethiopian battalion raised by the Ethiopian government to help South Korea during the Korean War, 1951. Leading Sikh militant Lab Singh, left one in row closest to camera, 1984. Frida Kahlo and Shavila Vargas, born in Costa Rica, people say they loved each other, between 1930–1940. Brigadier General Roger M. Ramey and Colonel Thomas J. Dubose identify metallic fragments found by a farmer near Roswell as pieces of a weather balloon. This is the basis of the Roswell incident, the supposed crash of an alien spacecraft, New Mexico, 1947. Leading the Bear play during Shrove Tuesday, Podmogul Wielki, Poland, 1950. A 19-year-old Al Capone with his father and uncle, 1917. First female fighter pilot, Sabiha Gökhan with Ataturk, November 17, 1937. A formation of B-17 Flying Fortress of the 8th Air Force escorted by a P-51 Mustang ETO, 1944. Gaunt, weary, hollow-eyed, machine gunner PFC George C. Miller carries his weapon to the rear after 19 days of heavy fighting while beating back the Japanese counterattack at Hill 660, Cape Gloucester, 1943. Funeral of General Ladysel.
Aww.
Sikorski, the commander-in-chief of the Polish army and prime minister of the Polish government in exile, after his death in plane crash off Gibraltar, July 8, 1943. King Victor Emmanuel III of Italy with his daughters and son on the occasion of his 70th birthday, November 11, 1939. U.S. Navy Task Force 85 en route to the landings at Scogliti, Sicily. USS Leonard Wood is at left. The next transport astern of her is USS James O'Hara. The destroyer in the center is not identified, July 8, 1943. B-17 Flying Fortress Lil Satan was hit by flak while returning from a mission. The navigator and bombardier were Kia. The pilot managed to get her back to base in England, June 25, 1944. Hard Times in Thatcher's Britain, Glasgow 1980. Photo Raymond Depardon. The works of the Ujiji Mine Lake in the 10 district, which was annexed to Budapest in 1950. The works of the Ujiji Mine Lake in the 10 district, which was annexed to Budapest in 1950. Adolf Hitler's office at the New Reich Chancellery in Berlin, circa 1939. Titanic leaving Southampton as seen from Hythe, Hampshire in 1912. British mathematician and philosopher Bertrand Russell reads a statement signed by himself and 8 other eminent scientists, and calling for the renunciation of war because the hydrogen bomb threatens the continued existence of mankind, London, UK, 1955. Stasi agent, watching the cameraman, in a forest in the German Democratic Republic, 1970. An operations map at RAF Coastal Command Headquarters at Northwood in Hertfordshire, July 9, 1943. HMS Eskimo patrolling the landing area during the Allied invasion of Sicily while in the distance a supply ship burns, after being hit by enemy aircraft, July, 1943. Sculptor Felix de Weldon working on the plaster model of the U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, 1954. His artwork is located just outside of Arlington National Cemetery, in Virginia. The ocean liner Titanic passing by Cowes on the Isle of Wight, Britain, on April 10, 1912. The ocean liner Titanic passing by Cowes on the Isle of Wight, Britain, on April 10, 1912. Maurice Papone, CEO of Sud Aviation, is giving to the British Minister of Technology Tony Benn an official gift during the official presentation of the Concorde, in the workshops of the company, St. Martin du Touch, Toulouse, France, December 11, 1967.